I think that I'm starting to fall out of love with the things that I used to be in love with. In 2014, Daredevil Season 1 dropped on Netflix, and in my review of that season, I said that I really liked it, and I liked that we got to spend a lot of time with the story that was being told there, and we got to see all of the characters be fully explored and developed. And I said, wouldn't it be cool if the rest of the Marvel Universe could be like that? Instead of spending 2 hours on Iron Man's origin story, what if we spent 13 hours on it? We got to see more of how Ironmonger is doing his thing and his friendship with Rhodey and Pepper. What if we got to expand on all of that, kind of like what we did with Daredevil Season 1? Well, here we are now, 7 years later, and the monkey's paw is starting to curl its finger. I am realizing that the Marvel Cinematic Universe is starting to change in a way that I do not approve of. And it doesn't really matter what I think, because things are going to change whether I like it or not, and I can either get with the program or I can get out of the way, and I think I'm just going to have to get out of the way. So recently there was a Disney Investors Day where they announced quite a bit of stuff. I didn't really keep up with a lot of it, but they announced quite a bit of stuff for Marvel and for Star Wars. With Marvel, they talked about all the different streaming shows that they are going to be doing as part of the Marvel Cinematic Universe. They also reminded people that there are a few movies coming out, like Captain Marvel 2. There's going to be Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness. There's going to be, I feel like, the Eternals and Shang-Chi. A lot of this we already knew was going to happen. We might not have necessarily known who was going to be directing or writing or whatever, but we knew that these movies were going to be happening and some of these shows were going to be happening. And Kevin Feige, he recently said that streaming is the future of the Marvel Cinematic Universe. And I'm looking at all of this stuff, and some of it I'm not in the least bit interested in. The What If series, the animated What If series, I'm definitely not interested in that. What If, as a comic book, is something that has to work about 3 times harder to keep my interest than any other comic book. Because if it's What If Daredevil's blindness was cured, that only works for me if I'm a fan of Daredevil, and I'm only casually a fan of Daredevil. And then if the creators on that book are not creators that I'm interested in, then that's another strike against the book. And then they have to take this entire premise and fit it into one issue. And sometimes these premises, what if Avengers vs. X-Men turned out different than how it did in the main Marvel Universe? That's like an entire miniseries worth of event right there. And then sometimes in the pre-1990 What If stuff, you would have a whole lot of stuff that they would try to cram into one issue. And so What If as a concept has never been something that I was super into anyway, and it's already difficult enough for me to keep up with the Marvel Cinematic Universe. Now there's going to be alternate realities in What If. There's probably going to be alternate realities in the third Tom Holland Spider-Man movie. We know there's going to be multiverse stuff in Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness. It's too much for me to keep up with. If I was 13, I could tell you Earth 12, that was the Earth where Superman is a Nazi or whatever. I don't know. I could keep up with all that stuff because when I was 12, I didn't have that much stuff that I had to keep up with. Life was pretty easy for me when I was a teenager. I didn't have important stuff that I have to deal with. As an adult, I can't keep up with all of this stuff. I can go back and watch the movies that I really like, but I don't have the space in my brain to keep up with all of this stuff, and I don't have the hours in the day. If there's going to be like 7 or 8 streaming shows from Disney Plus, I don't have enough time to watch all of that. It's been several months since The Boys Season 2 finished airing on Amazon Prime. I haven't watched a single episode of it, and I really like The Boys Season 1. I just haven't gotten around to watching the second season. I have access to Disney Plus, thank you Connor, but I've only watched 3 episodes of The Mandalorian, and the first 2 seasons are both done. And speaking of Star Wars, we're going to have, I think, 9 or 10 shows streaming on Disney Plus, all set in the Star Wars universe, and I just don't care. A lot of this is about characters I don't care that much about, like Cassian Andor. I liked Rogue One okay, but I did not have to see an entire series series about that guy, or characters I know nothing about, like the Bad Batch. I have not watched a single episode of Clone Wars. I watched the animated movie from 2008, but I haven't watched any of the episodes that spun out of that movie. You've got all these shows and then characters like Obi-Wan Kenobi, my favorite Jedi Knight, but I'm very apprehensive about what you're going to do with a prequel series featuring Ewan McGregor. I'm assuming set in between Revenge of the Sith and A New Hope. It could be okay. I have some pretty specific ideas of what I would like to see in an Obi-Wan Kenobi series, but I don't know if they're going to do that. And then everything I've heard about what they are going to do kind of puts me at ease, or doesn't put me at ease, the opposite. I'm kind of like, ooh, I don't know. I'm not sure about that. And again, I don't have the time of day to watch 32 different streaming shows. When you combine all the stuff from Marvel and all the stuff from Star Wars, all of that's going to be on one streaming platform, but that's way too much for me to keep up with. I can't do it. I one time said I really like that you're able to take a character and you're able to take a story and give it all the time that it needs so that you're not feeling rushed. But then there's the plus, or the the anti-side, the con to that, is that I physically do not have the time to watch all this stuff. Now, there are some people who will, but I am not one of those people. I cannot bring myself to spend all of my free time watching all these streaming shows. Now, it is possible that you might only have like one season of WandaVision and one season of Falcon and Winter Soldier going on at the same time. And then, after those shows are done, you might have Loki and What If, or something like that. And you might only have like two shows going on at the same time. And then after, you get a season of each of these shows, then you might return for another season of WandaVision or whatever. Maybe they're not going to have all of it coming on all at once, but it's still way too much for me. Other people might be peeing their pants in excitement right now, but for me, I saw all this and I was just like, whoa, this is too much. It's just a cacophony of nonsense that's barraging me right now. When the Marvel Cinematic Universe first started off, they didn't have 15 movies a year. They started with 2 movies, and then I think they waited a year or two before they did another movie, and then you would have a couple of movies, and then 3 movies, and that's the way I think they should do it. I don't think that they should announce, we're going to have 15 shows from Marvel and 15 shows from Star Wars, and we're also going to have all these movies if the theaters ever open back up, and if they don't, then we're just going to put it on our streaming service that you're already paying for, and you're going to have to pay extra for it, kind of like you did with Mulan. And I don't see that being a very viable business option. And it's not just Disney, although it is a lot them. You've also got HBO or DC. They're saying apparently they want to have a couple of movies exclusive to the HBO Max app. I think that is an extraordinarily bad idea. Here's the thing. I fully understand that something akin to streaming is probably the future of enjoying movies and TV shows. I mean, we've had Netflix for over 10 years now. It's probably been around even longer than that, but I know I was in college when I first heard about it, and back then, the predominant way that you did Netflix was they mailed you discs in the mail, and you watched them on your TV. And streaming, I think, was just getting started around that time, maybe. Or maybe it had already been around. I don't know. But here's the thing, okay? When streaming first got really popular, everyone was saying you can get rid of your cable that you're paying however many dollars a month for, and then you can just get Netflix, and then you can stream all these movies that are on Netflix. The problem now is that there's like 100 different streaming services, and each one has like that one thing that you're interested in. If you like Star Trek, then you're probably going to want to get CBS Plus, or whatever it's called, Paramount Plus, I don't know, and then you've got a couple of Star Trek shows on that. But if you like Star Trek, Star Wars, and Marvel, and DC stuff, then you're going to have to get like 3 or 4 different streaming apps. And then there's all these other streaming apps. If you like 30 Rock, but you don't have any of the DVDs, then you're going to want some Peacock in your dish. And there's just, it never ends. And when you get all of these things that have all the things you're interested in, it costs like 10 times more than what you used to pay on cable. Now, I know I'm an old man in a younger-ish person's body, and I have had people make fun of me before whenever I say that I would prefer watching a movie on a DVD. They said, "Oh, haha, you're okay, boomer." Here's the thing, though. I don't want to pay for 10,000 streaming apps. I like watching movies, and then what happens when the streaming service goes away? It wasn't that long ago that all the stuff from DC that's on HBO Max was on another streaming service, and now that streaming service is gone, or at least the streaming part of that service is gone. And if you were one of those people who were making fun of me saying like, "Oh, you bought Doom Patrol Season 1 on DVD, you're such a loser, it's available on the DCU streaming app." Oh, oops. The DCU streaming app is gone now. And now you have to go and get HBO Max if you want that. But then if you wanted DC streaming app because it also has the comic book stuff, well, now you have to get 2 streaming apps at once. I don't mind all this streaming stuff, but speaking of Doom Patrol Season 1, it is available on DVD, so I don't have to waste my time with any of that stuff. You can make the people like me, the old-fashioned people, happy by putting all this stuff on a physical release. New Mutants, it is physically available. I've seen it at Walmart. I'm not going to pay $20 for the movie, but it is physically available. But you could also stream it somewhere, probably, I don't know. But the thing is, all this Marvel and Star Wars stuff, I would like to eventually have it on a physical release. What happens when the Ruskies throw an EMP at us and we don't have any of these streaming services anymore? And then all that stuff is gone and we can't watch it anymore. Admittedly, I won't be able to watch it either on a DVD player if we are hit by an EMP, but what if the streaming service goes away? What if Disney says, "We're losing money on this, we're not going to do this anymore"? Are they going to put this stuff out on DVD? The Mandalorian Season 1 has been over for over a year, and they didn't put that on DVD. I don't know if they're ever going to. I don't know if that would lose them money. With HBO Max and DC, Doom Patrol, I want to say it was done for about a year, and then they put it out, and I feel like that is a pretty good business model, because there are some people who are never going to get a streaming service, and they're just going to be out of the loop on all this stuff. My sister, for years now, I've been showing her, letting her borrow my copies of the Marvel Cinematic Universe movies, and she likes them okay. She likes the solo movies better than the big team movies. The last one she watched was either Captain Marvel or Infinity War, and she really didn't like Infinity War, so I don't know if she's going to keep going or not. But the thing is, if she does keep going, if she watches Endgame and Spider-Man Far From Home, she's not going to be able to watch the future of the MCU because she doesn't have internet. So I can say whatever I want about her because she's not going to see this video. But she doesn't have internet, so she's kind of left out right now. Everyone else can have fun with their internet, but she doesn't have that, and I don't blame her. She has a very Spartan lifestyle, and she doesn't want to get into all that stuff, and that's fine. But she also has movies on DVD if she wants to watch a movie. Occasionally she is in the mood to do that. And what's great about what DC did with Titans and Swamp Thing and Doom Patrol is they put it on their streaming service, and if you were willing to pay money for that, then you got to watch it fresh on the TV or fresh on your computer. But if you were a sourpuss like me and you didn't want to pay money for that, then you had to wait patiently. And then I did. And then I bought it for like $7. And now I can watch that DVD as many times as I want. I don't have to pay $7 or $8 a month if I wanted to keep watching Doom Patrol. I wish that Disney would do something kind of like that. Wait a couple of years and then put The Mandalorian out on DVD. Because, my mom, she's seen Baby Yoda on Facebook. She would love to watch Baby Yoda push buttons and stuff in a spaceship. But she doesn't have access to Disney Plus. I do. It's a friend's account, but I'm not going to try setting that up with my parents. So my mom would love to watch The Mandalorian, probably. All these other Star Wars shows, who knows? She might not care about any of this stuff. But the thing is, I feel like it's too much, and I feel like eventually this is going to kind of explode, and we're going to have a lot of these streaming services probably aren't going to stick around for long. Maybe they will. Maybe I'm kind of like that person who said, "Oh, color TV, that's stupid. It's the black and white TV is the way to go," and then everyone's laughing at me and making fun of me because I won't change with the times. I don't know. But I'm just saying, I see a lot of issues with the direction that I see a lot of this going. And I should point out, I did not want to make this video. A few years ago, I remember seeing people saying they were really excited for Endgame to come out because then they could stop caring about the Marvel Cinematic Universe. And I thought that was a really bizarre attitude to have. If you're not enjoying something, then just stop watching it. Stop reading it. I saw one person who said after they watched Endgame, they said, "That was fine. That's where I stopped caring about the Marvel Cinematic Universe. It was a good end point for for them. I thought that was also really weird because I was really excited about the future of the Marvel Cinematic Universe. And admittedly, after watching Endgame, I had a few more reservations because they got rid of Captain America and, spoilers by the way, and they got rid of Iron Man, two of their big guns in their Avengers franchise. They got rid of both of them, and I thought, I don't know where they're going to go with the Avengers here. We don't have a whole lot of the big names to headline another Avengers story if they wanted to do that. Thor, he's hanging out with the Guardians of the Galaxy, and he's not the main character of his own Thor movie anymore. So they're kind of knocking off all their big guns, and then their next wave of movies after Spider-Man features characters like Shang-Chi and the Eternals, and I've never cared about Shang-Chi or the Eternals, and I was really, really apprehensive. I was like, oh no, I want to see some good stuff. I want to see a Fantastic Four movie in the MCU, and X-Men in the MCU. I was really excited about seeing where they would go, and then 80% of it is TV shows that I am not going to have time to watch. Even if it's a 45-minute episode and there's only 8 episodes a season, it's still going to be a chore for me to get through all of that. This has been me just ranting about stuff that nobody else cares about. I'm sure that I am going to be just the really, really mean-spirited old man who's yelling about why they don't make DVDs anymore, and back in the day I used to be able to watch stuff like that. I don't care. I feel like some of this stuff, yes, it's good to change with the times. The DVD was a significant improvement over the VHS tape, yes, but then sometimes you see these changes and I can see a lot of the cracks in it. I don't see it as being much of an improvement when you have $10,000 of streaming services out there, and it's like, I like Star Trek, but I don't want to pay however many dollars a month just to watch that Star Trek stuff, and then a whole bunch of stuff that I don't care about. Or I like, what's his name, Son of Satan from Marvel, but I don't want to get Hulu. So yeah, I wish that these streaming services would continue doing the streaming thing for the people who like having it right then, so they can just watch it on their computer or their phone or their TV whenever. But then don't leave those of us who hate this and hate this system out in the cold. Eventually, put this stuff out on DVD or Blu-ray or whatever. Eventually, I keep saying DVD because I don't have a Blu-ray player. The DVD player I have works fine. I have watched movies on Blu-ray, and I don't think the quality is even one iota better than the quality of a DVD. Everyone says it's a smoother picture. I don't notice anything different about a Blu-ray picture or a DVD picture. So I don't have a Blu-ray player. I'm still lagging on there. Eventually, the DVD player I have is not going to work, and then I'm going to have to buckle down and get a Blu-ray player. But for now, I don't see the need to do that. But yeah, put it out on physical release somehow for those of us who see this as extortion, because that really is kind of what it is. I don't want to pay my entire paycheck just to watch all the shows and the movies that I want to watch. That's kind of the cool thing about having something on DVD, is I buy it once and then I have it forever. If it gets scratched, yeah, then I have to buy it again, but I'm not renting this thing that I want to own. And that's really what it comes down to, is I want to own these things so that if I want to, I can lend it to my sister and she can watch it. Or in 15 years, if I don't have internet wherever I am, if money's tight and I don't want to pay for internet at the moment, but I still have these DVDs that I've had forever, I can still go back and watch Avengers Endgame if I want to. So yeah, I am just a mean, crotchety old man. I've always known that. Now you guys know it too. So what do you guys think? Tell me that I'm wrong. Throw that dislike button up there. Just smash it all to pieces. Tell me that I am just a complete idiot, and I will see you guys in the future. Have a good one.